Welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun in Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how awesome Keebler elves are in Toyotas, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and germs. My name is Tyler, and joining me today for another awesome episode of Snail Trail 4x4 Off-Roading Podcast is the one and only J Daddy. J Daddy, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Yeah.
Yep. Good stuff. How's life? Life treating you well?
Life is doing better.
It's good.
Yes.
Things are fixing themselves.
Things aren't necessarily fixing themselves, but things are getting fixed.
Perfect.
The HVAC is fixed. I finished painting the office, so now I can start arranging that. So the house is coming along fairly well. Got a cookie decorating party for the mini assistant and her friends on Sunday.
Okay.
And so we're really striving to clean up that front room.
Okay.
We've purchased furniture, which should be here on Friday.
With rock lights and kegs.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. We bought this kind of cool old, I forgot what it's called. I think it's called a Chesterfield couch.
Okay.
It's something similar to that. It's the style that has it's like leather-ish and it has buttons that kind of go into a spot and cause the pillow to kind of curve in. It's that style. It's not a Chesterfield.
Okay.
Why are you laughing at me?
No, because I'm being really immature. There's a joke in my head right now that has to do with chestnuts.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's nothing like that.
Okay. But every time you say chest, it makes me think of this joke.
It's a style couch similar to that, but it's not that couch because those couches are like a lot of money. Okay. And ours is much, much cheaper.
Got it.
But it's kind of cool, old looking style, has like the couch and then has these sort of conical legs that go down at an angle, you know? And so we bought those for the front room because we're kind of making it a slightly more whiskey lounge smoker style room. And we bought these Coke mirrored coffee tables. Okay. They're so funny. They're like these oval round coffee tables that go like match very well with the couches. Okay. But they're mirrored tops. Yeah. And so we're just like, oh my gosh, what are we putting ourselves into? So yeah, we bought a love seat, a couch, and a single chair for the front room. Okay. And then we bought a U style sectional for the great room. Nice. Yeah. So, and those should come all on Friday. So that'll be perfect timing before the party on Sunday. Hopefully we'll have that front room cleaned out by then. And then we're throwing a New Year's party. And my goal is to get a good vast chunk of the stuff in the garage cleaned out. Nice. So that we can put the ping pong table in there. Gotcha. Yeah. So that's how we're moving forward. Yeah. Sweet. Sounds fun. Yeah. It's a lot of little things right now. Yep. All the cleanup stuff, hanging stuff on the walls, painting chunks or touching up paint and filling things at, corners for where we hit something when we were moving and having to, put a little texture on that and then paint it over again. And yeah, we're into the minute things. Cool. Yeah. So it'll be fun. It'll be fine. The plan in my mind is we're going to be, for the most part, like 99% moved in by the end of the year. Sweet. Yeah. Cause that's once again, in my mind, we'll see what the assistant says about this. Once our New Year's party happens, I'm not going to spend nearly as much time on the house and I'm going to be working on Samantha. Cool. Yeah. I'm excited for Samantha. Me too. And 3 and 4 and 5. Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. You have 5 personalities? I got them all. Okay. It's fun to work with my hands, and I'm supplementing that right now by working on the house. Yeah. Because I do, you can see the improvements and you can see, and for the most part, it's like when I do something, the assistant comes home and is happy, but if I work in the shop, the assistant comes home and isn't happy, because I didn't do anything on the house. Yeah. So I'm trying to get that house like done. Yeah. So that I can go work in the shop and
There you
have
go.
fun for myself.
There you go.
Not with myself. Well, it will be with myself, but yeah, you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
The tailpipe.
Oh man. Well, cool, man. This is Thursday's episode.
Yes, it is.
So we've got some announcements to make.
Yes, we do.
We have a new giveaway this month.
Yes,
we're
we do.
officially into December now. I think we're officially into December now.
Yep. We've passed the secretary's birthday.
We have passed
so
the
we're officially in
secretary's.
December.
Yes. Let's see. Shall we get into it? I think we actually have a couple voicemails too.
Oh,
so
cool.
we can get into some of those.
I just want to say that I am going to destroy you in the present giving category this year.
You're cheating.
I am.
Yes.
And I am going to destroy you.
Okay. Okie doke, if you say so.
You're not even going to come close.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I don't believe you.
You okay?
I don't know. I really, really like my present, my main present for the gift box.
Okay.
So,
not the gift box. We have the present. The present.
Two gift boxes.
Yeah,
Well, two
presents.
Two presents.
And 2 gift boxes a year.
Yeah.
But so if you guys want to get my present, because mine's going to be the best, you need to sign up on irate 4x4 for that gift box tier. We're giving away 2 presents for the month of December as our giveaway items. Tyler's giving one away. I'm giving one away. We're going to have 2 lucky winners that's going to get a gift from us. You're going to want mine.
Disagree. I mean, you may want Jimmy's, but mine's going to be better.
No.
Mine's going to make you laugh more.
Maybe. But you're going to want mine. Now I'm going to win the better gift.
Are you giving away a set of tracks or?
Yeah, I actually just threw them in the back of my truck. Why'd you think I brought Clifford down?
Nice.
They have some red accents on them.
Uh-huh. So. Yeah. Those would actually look great on Clifford.
Those would look so cool.
Oh, man.
Let's do it.
Okay. I do have to put them on the 350 at some point.
Oh, geez.
Just because it's the same lug pattern. I have to put them on at some point.
Yeah,
so.
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's for sure. How would the dually set? You need another set so you could do the dually.
You dually tracks in the rear? Jeez, just put all 4 in the rear. That'd be great.
Yeah. And then build some strap some snowboards to the front.
Yeah. It'd be a big old snowmobile. Oh man. So, okay, let's see. Shall we get into it? Let's start getting into it here.
Haven't we? I was just saying that we were doing the gift box giveaway items.
Yeah.
So
okay.
we're in it.
Over on Irate.
Yep.
Cool. Everybody knows how to sign up for that.
They should by now.
Hopefully.
If you don't, message me.
Perfect. All right. So
we're actually, let's talk about that for a split second. Trevor Clark has had an issue, and I think Charles Locke had an issue about, I think what we've come down to, Trevor, Austin, and I were working together about trying to figure out what was going on. And I believe there was a lack of notifications being sent more from Irate 4x4 saying that somebody has signed up.
Okay.
But really what it comes down to is that PayPal was not connected on the back end to Irate 4x4 to tell Irate 4x4 to confirm the subscription, saying tell Irate 4x4 to send their message.
Gotcha.
So I believe we've now fixed that. So I don't know what's happened in the past with all the last year and a half that we've been signed up for Irate 4x4. If nobody's just received a message and you just assumed that you were entered, but that should all be fixed now. And if you sign up on Irate 4x4 for any of the tiers and you subscribe, you're subscribing through PayPal. PayPal's now notifying Irate 4x4 and you should be getting the email saying thank you.
Sweet.
Yes.
Cool. Perfect. So now emails are going out about those.
Yes.
Cool.
A year and a half later or whatever.
Nice. Speaking of signups,
okay.
We have some birthdays and FNGs.
We do. Yeah.
So for FNGs, which is the fun new guys, we have from November, Ronald Colton.
Hey, Colton. Thank you.
And Dirt Traveler.
Yeah. No name on that one.
No name.
So don't know who you are. I don't know if there's I'm sure there's 100 Dirt Travelers on Instagram.
Right. So let's see. For 1 year birthdays,
for December birthdays, yes.
None.
0.
Wow. Yeah, 0 for December. 2 years. Let's see. We're going back. No 2 years either in December.
Interesting.
And no 3 years. Nobody
signs up in December, huh?
Yeah, I guess not. We have some 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So Matt Gardner, our resident expert.
Yes.
Thanks,
Matt.
In ordering parts.
Always need some loving from you.
Yep. James Dooley.
Oh, Mr. Dooley. Yes. Thank you.
And Mr. Treasure Hunter himself.
Trevor Clark.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So those are the 4 years, 4 years in December. So that's pretty cool. We are coming up on 5 years.
Yes.
And I think it looks like our first 5 year will be May 30th.
Yeah.
So May 2024 will be 5 years. And so anybody who stays on for 5 years, we have gifts for you guys.
Yeah. We were talking about some items before we started hitting the record button.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to figure out something good to pass along to you guys that have been hanging on and kicking it with us for so many years.
Yeah.
And we appreciate everything you've been doing, and hopefully you are reciprocating and appreciate everything we're giving you.
Yep.
We're trying to figure out a good item, something fun and rewarding and special, something that only you can get.
Yep. We have a couple ideas running in our heads. We'll figure out exactly what it'll be, and we'll start doing 5-year gifts next year. That'll be exciting.
Yeah. That'll be a lot of fun. We should do the math and figure out how many of those there are.
It looks like enough.
Yes.
And it's a good amount. So
sweet.
It's cool to see people sticking around 5 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. Should we do the winner
the winner.
November's giveaway?
Yeah, for a Moreflate PSI Pro Gen 2.
Yeah. So
drum roll, please.
Sergio Rodriguez.
Yeah, Sergio, congratulations.
Yeah. Which is cool because he just signed up in October.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he's been a member before.
That's what I thought too. The name is very familiar, but he's listed on the birthdays list as being new in October.
I think I looked it up, and I think he was a subscriber prior.
Okay.
And left in like June. And was gone for a series of months.
And then came back with a gift box
in October.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he signed up for a gift box in October.
Yeah.
So
and
cool.
a Moreflate.
Yeah. And so now
PSI Pro compressor.
Yeah, the Gen 2 compressors. So which are still not here.
I heard about that. Do you have ideas on where they might be?
Our current ETA is December 10th to the warehouse.
Okay. So have they landed?
Yeah, so they've officially left purgatory, which is nice.
Okay.
And they are on the move again. And our other 3 shipments are on the move as well. So everything is now officially on the move, which is kind of nice that we know where everything is, but it's still just moving very slowly.
I'm still going with the freight across the ocean is going to win.
It's going to win. It wouldn't surprise me if it does.
Compared to the air travel across the
fucking air freight is 8-9 times more expensive right now.
Jeez.
Because of how busy shipping is for the holidays. So,
well, the air freight goes from the other side of the world, and then it goes to like India, and then up to Russia, and then down into Africa, and then up into Europe. And then it goes down to South America.
And then it goes backwards, into Japan.
And then it flies to New York.
Yeah.
And then it goes all the way around the world.
Seriously.
To come to LA.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. So anyways, the good news though is that Australia's compressors are all in.
Oh, that is good.
So Australia should have their compressors by the time this episode launches. And they should be available for purchase in Australia and set up and ready to go. So
that's awesome.
If anybody is like desperately waiting in the United States, you can contact Essential 4x4 in Australia, and they could probably get you one shipped over faster than we're getting our fucking shipments here.
I was going to say that. I was going to say, what is the website for Australia? Is it moreflate.au?
Moreflate.com.au. Yeah. We'll redirect you to the Moreflate section of Essential 4x4's website.
Right. Yeah. So if you really, 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 really want one and want to pay the shipping to get it over to the States from there, you can do that now.
Yeah, it's a disaster. But that shit's coming in. So everything's on the move again. We'll keep things rolling. But Sergio, you're getting one. So
congratulations.
Yeah. This month's gift box that I talked about was the gifts from Jimmy and I.
Yeah.
And mine's going to be hilarious.
Everybody's going to want mine. Therefore, I'm going to win.
Okay.
Yeah. Yours might be funny, but I'm going to win.
I'm going for the immature status on this one.
Yeah.
So. Oh man. So that's it. That's the updates, FNG's birthdays, the winner for November, and talking a little bit about what's coming in December here. Let's see. We have some voicemails.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Cool. I have not vetted these.
Okay.
I think there was 3
We
of
never
them.
really do.
Yeah, we don't really. This one's a 530 number. Oh, Lance.
Yeah.
Lance.
Like a camper.
This is Lance. Lance, the company, is calling us. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, let's see what Lance has to say here.
Hey, Tyler and Jimmy. This is Lance, Instagram, Air Down and Adventure. First off, love you guys. You guys are absolutely awesome. You guys are kind of local to me. I'm probably like 5 minutes from Metal Smoke, from their stuff. I'm over off of area. But anyway, I'm going to try to leave you guys a review, but my phone's stuck because I dropped it so many times out of my big rig that I think it just hates me now. So I'll figure that one out. I was wondering if you guys ever did any kind of raffle or anything like that. One of the prizes that I thought would be cool, I've been thinking about this for a while, is I don't currently have a rig. And I may not have one for a little while, so I just kind of have to live vicariously for everybody else. So it would be kind of cool to if you guys did some sort of raffle, or something, or some sort of event, where the winner, could go wheeling with you guys for a day. I don't even know if that's possible, but it would be pretty cool. I know there's a few of us that don't have rigs yet that just kind of have to live vicariously through you guys and through the podcast and things. So anyway, just a thought. Again, love you guys. I'll figure out why my phone hates me so I can get a review sent in. And I'm going to make it special and do 6 stars. I'm just going to draw that 6 star in there since I know it's only do 5. But anyway, take care, guys. Bye.
Funny you mentioned that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, we've done a couple trips now with like complete strangers.
Yes, we have.
And we'd meet them that morning and take them out on the Rubicon. And they always end up being awesome trips.
Yeah, they're fun trips and usually fun people as well because they're interested in the same sort of stuff that we're interested in.
Yeah.
At first, I thought it was going to say raffle off a truck.
Yeah. No, can't do that. Oh, funny. That's actually what Jimmy's building Samantha for.
No, not really. But yeah, there's some weird rules being in California that state that we can't really raffle vehicles off like that. We've actually looked into it to some extent, but it's not a bad idea. I did think about while we were doing this most recent trip, I thought about stuff like that. Like, hey, why don't we do a giveaway and we can fly somebody out here and take them down the Rubicon.
Yeah.
There's a few times that we've been going out on trails or events and we both have an open right seat. And I've thought, well, why don't we offer this as another level tier on irate? And it's like, you pay that, and then we'll just go down the list to sort of like, you've been a subscriber the longest of this tier. You have an option to join us. You have to come out. We'll fully pay for if you get to us, we'll fully pay for the run, the event and your food, and we'll cook and we'll just more or less cater you and go out and run. It's something I've thought about. It's not a bad idea. I mean, it could be, there's something there. There could be something there that we could figure out.
I think there's definitely something there. I found that the couple of times now, the 2 times that stick out in my head is when we did the glue tread trip with Andy.
Yeah.
Meeting those 2 guys literally that morning, never met them before, didn't know what they were going to be like. And then having a phenomenal time on the trail and letting Andy drive the 4Runner around on the trail and then letting Matt from New Zealand drive the 4Runner around on the trail.
Yeah.
I really enjoy letting other people drive the 4Runner.
Sure.
It's fun for me to watch the rig work.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
I never get to watch it work. I'm always making it work. Right. And so being able to watch the suspension work, watch if things are binding up, watching kind of how it maneuvers down the trail is really fun and really cool to me. But then also kind of watching the shit eating grins that the people get on their faces while they're driving Kermit is a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
I'm interested in doing that more.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of our free time, though, comes during the week.
Yeah, true.
So like a middle of the week run, which I think we did that with Glue Tread, and we just did that here with Matt from New Zealand.
Yeah.
So if that might not be easy for a lot of people too.
Yeah.
Because we're busy with family stuff on weekends primarily. We'll talk about it. We'll figure out something. There might be something there, but I don't know how. Maybe a raffle is really the sort of best way to kind of do that.
Yeah.
We don't have, because if we have 20 people signed up, I mean, I don't know when we don't go out 20 times with an open seat, in the middle of the week or however. So yeah, we could figure something out maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a bad idea, Lance. I appreciate the thought and the call in and letting us know.
Cool. So let's see here. Next one, we have 2 voicemails from the same person.
Okay. Is it Donnie?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it is. So here, we'll see what this person has to say.
Hey, Tyler, it's Wayne. Just listening to episode 451. Very good explanation of everything. Really enjoyed your compressor update. And according to my book, you got everything right on the money. And I come from a calibration background. So
cool.
Kudos for nailing it. And thanks for educating people. That's all. Bye.
Cool.
Sweet.
And he called back later?
He did call back, yeah. Called back 20 minutes later.
Oh, okay. He probably found a correction in the episode.
I can't have nailed everything that episode. There was a lot going on in that episode. So I'm sure I fucked some stuff up. Let's see. He called back. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey, Tyler. Podcast 451, Morphlate. So how do you use your compressor in conjunction with ARB lockers? And do you have a kit to conveniently install it somewhere where you can turn it on while you're on the trail and constantly supply your lockers with air? Because I'm always turning them on and turning them off. Anyway, this is Wayne. Have a good day. And I didn't catch that part of it on your podcast, how you integrate that with ARB lockers. Please let me know.
That's Wayne. Yes, it clicked in that one. Okay. In that one. So Wayne, you remember Wayne? He has the IUD mesh, Starlink.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Out at our events we go to with the William Wine Whiskey guys.
Yeah. So absolutely.
Wayne is the reason why I bought a Starlink, actually.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Okay.
Wayne's a really cool guy. Yeah. So Wayne, good question. We did not talk about that specifically with the Morphlate compressor. Essentially, in order to run lockers, I think we did mention it because I remember I'm looking at the soda can right now. In order to run lockers, you only really need a soda can reservoir of air.
Yeah. We talked about having compressed air.
Okay, we did talk about compressed air.
Yeah.
So in order to run a locker, you need to have an air source to create air, air pressure, I should say. And you need to have a small reservoir of air. And how big that reservoir is depends on how much airline and how thick the ID of that airline is going down to your axles. So like on the Forerunner, when I was running the air lockers, I needed a little bit more of an air reserve to run the lockers because I had a really long airlines. Like my airlines went from the compressor up in the engine bay to the rear axle, above the rear axle where I had the locker solenoids and the air reservoir. And then the front airline went all the way back to the front axle.
Oh, man.
So it traveled the distance of the vehicle twice.
Yeah.
So I needed a little bit more of an air reserve to run the front axle locker. With that being said, though, all you need is an air source to compress the air, an air reserve to hold that compressed air, and then locker solenoids of some sort, actuators. You can get mechanical levers as well that actuate a valve.
Okay.
To run it as well, rather than electronic solenoids. So you just need something to control the airflow from that reservoir to the lockers.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. With that being said, you can do that with a lot of different ways. You can use just a 3000 PSI air tank that like Power Tank uses. They're little power shots. You can run an air locker system with those as both your air source and your pressurized thing. You're just pressurizing that air, not on your vehicle. You do it in a shop somewhere.
Right.
So with the Morphlate compressors, what you would have to do is you'd have to mount the compressor somewhere in the vehicle, which is problem number one, because our compressors are designed more for as a portable packaging rather than an onboard air packaging, which means that our compressors are easier to carry around and move between vehicles and move around. Whereas a twin ARB is set up better for onboard air packaging, just the way it's packaged, right? Problem number one is mounting the compressor somewhere. It's a big compressor, so you need to find a big space to mount it, preferably outside of the engine bay because there's a lot of heat in engine bays. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is relocating the switch and redoing the power for the compressor. So you need to run power to the compressor, and that compressor pulls upwards of 115 amps under full load at 120 PSI. So you need to have thick wiring and a big fuse or circuit breaker for the compressor as well to wherever you're mounting it at. And then you need to run the switch so that it's easy for you to use from the driver's seat, right? Redoing all that wiring is another task that you're going to have to figure out for your vehicle and your preferences. And then from there, it's just a matter of, with our compressors, nice thing about the 10.6 compressors specifically is that they have pressure cutoff switches built into them. So you don't have to run a pressure cutoff switch. It's already built in there. All you have to do is run the air line to an air reservoir.
Okay.
So
if you use the Morphlate 10.6 or even 5.6, you really need a reservoir or a tank
and
to run lockers.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you just need some sort of air reservoir. So I did it with the little ARB manifold, right? It's a tiny little manifold that usually comes on the single cylinder compressors.
Okay.
So I just used one of those and plumbed all my locker solenoids and everything into it. And that
was enough.
It was enough, but it cycled the compressor more because I needed more air for that double run of airline.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
You can do it. You can absolutely do it. It's different for each vehicle. And we haven't found a good solution for universal application yet. And that's mainly due to the packaging of the compressor itself. It's so big it's hard to figure out where to put in each vehicle, and where you put it will determine what kind of wiring harness you're looking at, how much airline you need for your air system and your air reserve. So it's just, we haven't found a good way to do it yet.
Got it. Okay.
But we are working on it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like another evolution of the compressor that would be in line.
It's going to be a completely new compressor. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yes.
So, well, there you go, Wayne. Thanks for calling in.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that answers your question. Pretty much you need a tank in line to run ARB lockers.
Yep.
So you can keep that pressure build up in there. So cool.
Yep. So yeah, that's it. I think that's all the voicemails we have. Yes, it is.
All right.
So no others there. What else do we got on the docket for today? Is just kind of what we've been up to now.
Yeah, I guess so. I'd like to tell a fun little story before we dive into it, because it's sort of something about a little bit before our wheeling trip on Wednesday.
Okay.
So it's about my oil pump.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I had to get my oil pump done to be able to drive to the Rubicon. Right. So
drive the Rubicon itself
and drive the Rubicon and drive home and all the above.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think we recorded an episode on Tuesday. Yeah, we recorded one episode on Tuesday with the plans of talking to Matt out on the trail on Wednesday. So we recorded an episode. I think I went directly home and I started working on Bobcat.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't message you until like 6
silence.
p.m.
Yeah.
or something like that. on our New Zealand chat group going, Bobcat's done. It's up and running. I'm ready to hit the Rubicon.
Mm-hmm. We told Matt, yeah, we want to do this trip, but both of us have little things that we need to get done to our rigs in order to go on this trip.
Yeah.
And we would let him know when we know whether or not we're going to make it.
Right. Exactly.
And I don't think either of us had anything confirmed until around 6 p.m. the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I put the oil pump I had it mounted on the truck on Tuesday.
Okay.
Right. Cause I had that bolt strip out, and then I put the longer bolt in there and it held. So I needed to go to the hardware store to get another longer bolt so I could put that into the top one. That top one actually goes through and into the timing
cover area
and is a through bolt. So you need to RTV it. So it needs to be a specific length. If it's too far, it's pressing against the timing chain guides, I think, and it messes things up. So I had to get another specific bolt for that, which isn't an issue. So I went to Ace, grabbed a bolt, went back to the house, put it all together, put oil in it, changed the oil filter, got it all up and running, disconnected the control unit, the sending unit for the spark plugs.
Okay.
Cranked over the engine like 20 seconds long or something like that.
Kind of prime the pump.
Prime it and everything. Yeah. So it just wouldn't dry fire and start burning. So then I plugged that back in, started the truck up. It ran for like 10 seconds, then died. And I was like, uh-oh. And then it dawned on me that I didn't connect the air line, the thing that goes across to the air plantum or whatever, to the air intake. So I was like, I got to throw that on, So I threw that on. It started running. It was running, and I'm looking at the gauge, and I'm like normally the oil pressure goes bing, right away, and it was still sitting like very low, like not moving. Like, oh, damn it. Like, what's going on? And so I turn it off. I unplug the spark plug control unit again, start cranking it. I forget what that has a name. I don't know. I can't recall what the name is right now. Crank it for a while, do it all over again. No, the gauge is down low, not doing anything, but it's not ticking. It's not loud. Like you would, if no oil is moving and no oil is making it to the top of the engine, you would figure there'd be some noises going on. And I'm like, something's not right here. So I call first gen Mike. He's a Toyota mechanic. And I go, what am I doing here? Like, what's going on? Why is this not working? He's like, I'm on my way back to the house right now. Can I come by in like 45 minutes? And I said, sure. I've got an errand. I'll go out and run an errand. I'll stop rattling my brain about this for a second and I'll come back. So we come back and he looks all over everything and everything looks, he's like, everything looks great. And I was like, the only thing I can't, I think we just got to take it off to make sure that the gasket's sealed so that you're not losing pressure. Okay. And the only other thing that I could think of is that there's a gear, or there's this like sleeve that goes over the crankshaft that has splines on it that engages the oil pump to turn. And I was like, maybe I put that in backwards. Like you could slide it on one way or the other way. Yeah. And I was like, maybe I put that on backwards. So we took the whole thing apart. Everything looked fine. I cleaned it all up. And at this point I had to drain the oil again, right? Yeah. So I got more oil. I think I got oil when I was out because I was figuring like
we might be taking this apart.
Oil could go bad, but I'm probably going to take this apart. I'll just have oil sitting on the shelf if I don't need to, like whatever.
Only vegan oil has a shelf life.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Good.
Just a good tip for everybody out there.
Yeah. Got it. Eventually I think oil would go bad, but regardless, so we took it all apart. One of the videos I watched, they talked about putting a little RTV on the gasket that you put in, the seal. And so it's like I took it off and it's sitting in the groove. Like it's where it needs to be. And the splines were on correctly. And I'm like, I don't like, what's wrong with this? So he calls his dad, who's also a Toyota mechanic, and we start talking about it. And he's like, just put it back in and see if it works. And so we put it all back in, slap it all together, put more oil in it, crank it first, everything sounds good. Turn it on. And I'm like, the gauge isn't moving. I'm like, crap.
Did you not hook up the sending?
I was staring at the temperature gauge.
Jimmy. Oh, Jimmy.
My truck doesn't have an oil gauge,
Oh my God.
oil pressure gauge.
You're hilarious.
So this whole time, I was done at like noon, and I wasn't until like 6 o'clock because I had
Tore it
all this
all back
other,
apart.
tore it all back apart, did it all over again, double check things. Because my temperature fucking gauge was not going up because I was not running the vehicle long enough for it to move. But I don't have an oil pressure gauge, and that's what I realized. I was like, no, this is the gauge. Like this is one moves. This one like it'll go up, you know. And I was like, it wasn't until I was like shining light on it at night to watch the gauge. I'm like, this is the wrong gauge. I have 2 gauges. I've got 3. I've got a temperature gauge, the speedometer, and then a battery gauge, I think is on the other side. Fuel gauge. I mean, fuel gauge. Yeah. That's it. That's all Bobcat has. Yeah. That's all the gauges. And I'm like, oh,
that's hilarious.
Damn it. Did all this. I spent like 6 hours.
Yeah.
And wasted first gen Mike's time, as much as it's nice to have him around and hang out, but yeah.
James.
Yeah.
J Daddy, everybody.
Yeah. Yep.
That's amazing though. But that's also why we do the podcast, right? Everybody gets to learn from our dumb decisions.
I felt so stupid.
Oh, that's funny.
I was just like, and then it was at the point I was like, oh, Mike, I am so sorry. I'm such an idiot. I know what the problem is. He's like, what? I'm like, I'm looking at the wrong gauge. Yeah. I'm looking at the temperature gauge. I thought the temperature gauge was my oil pressure gauge. And I'm not running. It's not moving because the engine's not warm yet. And so there was no real way for me to check. I mean, unless I went and got another oil like an inline gauge or something.
And the only way to really check is to pull the valve cover.
Yeah.
And with it running and see if oil's coming up into the valve area.
Yeah. So we ran it for a little while, checked to see if any oil came out underneath. There wasn't, like, it wasn't leaking that we could visibly see. There was some residual oil just from all the work we did, but nothing leaking. And it didn't clatter or make any ruckus. So we were kind of like, well, it must be working.
Yeah.
So then I drove it over to my house and I started packing up. And when I drove it over there, I was like, it's making a little weird noise. And then I was like, oh crap, we never tightened the fan on. Oh, like it was
loose.
It was loose. It was loosely tightened on there. So then I got out and tightened that thing up. And then that buttoned everything up. And then, the next morning drove it up to Fresh Pond and drove it up, to the Rubicon, wheeled the Rubicon. Everything's been fine since, but I also tightened the suspension before we left the Tahoma staging. Yeah. And I was able to drive home faster than I drove to the Rubicon.
Nice.
Even after buggering up my drive shaft. Yeah. So I was able to cruise 65 to 70 down the hill.
Sweet.
Yeah. Which is not... Normally I don't go that fast. So either one, the suspension is really one of my big issues of my vibration. And 2, I might have realigned my drive shaft when you knocked it against the rock.
I haven't posted that video yet.
Oh,
I'm going to.
That'll be a good one.
I almost posted it this morning. But
tag Spartan rope.
Yep. I sent him everything. I sent him the images and the video of it all. I was like, look, we used your soft shackle receiver.
Yeah.
So
that was my story that I did not tell on the Rubicon episode, the last episode.
That's amazing.
That's why I thanked First Gen Mike at the end of the episode.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's funny.
Sorry. Yeah.
Good job, Jimmy.
Yeah, son. I swear it's brown hair.
It's not gray hair.
Sometimes it's blonde, but
yeah.
Most of the time.
Well, my dash has the oil pressure sender on it. But I think I have the SR5 dash.
Yeah, I want to change that out now.
Yeah.
Or change it out to something else. Or I want to. Do they make like tablets that you can put up there that will connect to your OBD2 setup, that even though I don't have an OBD2, that then you can just
that's I think what Jesse does. He runs either small, like a 7-inch tablet, or a big phone as his dashboard. And he has it 3M'd up to his dash there. Yeah. And he runs an OBD2 monitoring system on it.
How does he, on a first gen, what engine does he have?
I think he has the 22RE. Oh, but that's all OBD1.
It's all OBD1.
Yeah. What is he doing then? I don't know. Jesse, if you still listen to the podcast, let us know.
I'll message you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be really kind of cool to, and I don't know if anybody does this. And then if anybody's listening knows that this is available out there, hit me up. Jimmy at Snail Trail 4x4 on Instagram or Jimmy at snailtrail4x4.com. I guess that's the email. That would work. I don't know what I was thinking there. Another blonde moment.
I don't either.
Anyways, it'd be really cool if somebody made like a dash replacement.
Yeah.
And you could put like a tablet or something that custom fits that area that you can almost arrange that however you want it. Kind of like Torque. Torque kind of lets you do that. But you can then add whatever is being sent.
Has something.
Yeah, maybe. I don't want to spend what Holly charges.
Yeah.
I want more gauges because of how embarrassed I was, and I think that's a valuable piece of information.
Totally is valuable. Being able to know your oil pressure while you're wheeling is something that's important to know. You get at weird, crazy angles, and all of a sudden you lose oil pressure. You got to fix that right away.
Sure.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. So all I have is temperature and fuel and speed.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. Which is really bizarre to me. And I know that my truck is a bit of a Frankenstein, but it seems very odd. And First Gen Mike said, no, they did it this way. But because I said, my truck's a manual, but there's no tachometer.
Yeah.
And he said, no, Toyota sold them that way. It was like an SR model.
Yeah.
That was a manual, but no tach.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a aftermarket dash in mind. Like we moved my dash over, I think, from the first gen to the second gen.
Okay.
And so I have oil pressure, temperature, tach, speedo, fuel, and voltage.
Right.
All on mine. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the oil pressure and battery.
Yeah.
Is the two more that you... Oh, and tach.
And tach.
Yeah, so you got you got a bunch more. Have you seen the digital turbo ones?
The turbo ones are awesome.
I want that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So cool. Anyways, all right.
Yeah. I mean,
moving on.
That though, I love since like if you're a car person, you understand and really care about your vehicle's performance. Having more sensors is not really a bad thing.
No.
To be able to read different things. So like I've been really enjoying, I'll run Torque every once in a while so that I can watch the engine coolant temp sensors and not just a gauge that doesn't move over 30-degree range.
Sure. Yes.
And your speedo from GPS. And then there's different things you can check too. Your O2 sensors, how those are working out. Exhaust gas temp. So like towing, there's a lot more sensors I kind of watch while I'm towing. I watch the coolant temperature, oil temperature, transmission temperature, EGTs, your exhaust gas temperatures, your RPMs, your intake temperature, ambient air temperature versus your intake temperature. So there's so many different things I'm watching while I'm towing, the TPMS sensors as well. So yeah, there's a lot of data and it's nice to be able to view it all while you're driving. So the real time feed of it all. So
yeah. So there might be some upgrades there that I want to do for that. I wonder what Samantha has. I need to look. I haven't
Samantha
poked my
and
head.
Becky. See what dashes they have in there.
Yeah. I haven't poked my head into Samantha's cab in a while.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know.
Sounds like a letdown. Well, cool, man. I needed to get together my dash, put my dashboard back together and test the clock. So I had to set up the wiring for the clock, get that all in, fit it in. And so I got all that put together and functioning and running. I think I finally knew that I was going on the trip around 7:30 PM.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit later than yours, but got it all together. And then we went on the trip on Wednesday with Matt from New Zealand.
Yeah.
So he ended up camping up in the mountains.
Right. He slept in the car.
Yep. Slept in his car. And then we met him at the Chevron Fresh Pond. Got some breakfast burritos there, some coffee, and then headed on up Ice House Road to Loon Lake on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it was snowing on us.
Yeah. It was a fun trip.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it wasn't snowing until we were just done airing down at the spillway. And I was like, it's snowing. And it was very, very slow.
Yeah.
Like they're very small.
Yeah.
And then we're like, we should get going.
This is one of the things that I love about not trailering to trails.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know what our plan for the day was, logistics wise, until we got to Glenn's office at the top of Indian Trail.
Yeah.
Once we were there, then we were like, okay, yeah, we can go all the way through, or, you know, hey, are we going to go back? And if we had trailers, we wouldn't be able to do that.
We'd have to go back.
Yeah, we'd have to go back. So,
or we'd go all the way through and have to drive all the way around.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. So anyways, it's nice to be able to have that versatility.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. But it was fun wheeling the Rubicon in the snow as well.
Yeah.
So we had, I think my last trip out on the Rubicon, was it the Rubicon or was it somewhere else? I think it was Rubicon.
You almost got blown off.
Yes, it was that trip. Everybody likes it's a good
choice of words. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a great choice of words. I liked it. Never mind. Anyways, on that trip, I was like, I had a couple places on the trail where I was spinning my tires and they weren't really grabbing like I'm used to them grabbing. And I made a mention that maybe it was a tire pressure issue because I had been running so far this season on about 6 PSI.
Okay.
And that trip I did 8 PSI. I was like 8 or 8.5. And so I went down to 7 PSI this time.
Yeah.
And everything worked great.
Nice.
I think it's a tire pressure issue. Just needed a little bit more pooching for my vehicle. But yeah, at 7 PSI, the tires worked great, except for I think there was the 2 spots where it was just ice.
Yeah.
And both of us were spinning and not really able to do much.
That one little up ledge that we had to just bump it.
Yep.
Yeah, that one. Normally you can just idle up that thing. But this time it threw us sideways and crooked and we're just slipping all over the place. Yeah, I think it was just ice.
Yeah, it was ice. And then on Walker Hill, the bottom of Walker, that first big ledge, the big granite slab, I ended up having to just go far right and getting traction from the dirt on the right side of that and creeped up it. And you went left.
I did.
Have you ever gone left before?
Not in a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, I have, but I've never gone the way that I went.
Yeah.
Because I turned in and went left kind of in the hard line, but then I turned out of it pretty quick.
Oh, okay.
Like I didn't do the big boulders. I just kind of got my front end up and around on the ledge and then started turning out of it and went back to where you were.
Yeah.
So I didn't do the steep rock, smooth climb.
Yeah.
I just kind of did a rocky little ledge and then turned over and got back to the top that way. So.
Yeah, I've never ever gone the way you went before.
Yeah, I've gone straight up it and done the harder line before, but I've never gotten. I'll claim it sort of as the middle line. I don't know how.
Yeah, it's kind of a center line there. So that was fun. I got to go up another way I've never gone before. I was trying to find a new line for myself through Whalebones. And up Whalebones because I'm so wide now that it's really hard for me to make that turn and go up the slab without my passenger side falling in that hole. And every time I've gone up Whalebones with the wider axles, I fall and get stuck in that hole and have to back down and get a different angle and go up it. So this time I turned really sharp and went up and over that hump that's at the top of Whalebones, which puts you at an even more extreme angle. And that was kind of fun. I don't think I've been at that angle before.
Right.
In the 4Runner.
You might as well try going straight across the by the painted rock.
That's boring though. It's not as fun.
But but now that you're so wide, it's not going to be as off camber for you.
No, I don't. It's just not as fun.
Okay.
So that's a boring line. That's the easy line you get through. So having Matt in there for going up Whalebones was fun. Both of us got a little tingle in our stomachs and we were like, oh, that was a steep, that was steep there. Felt the front end get a little light, but I didn't have the inclinometer up.
Oh, okay.
When going up that. And I didn't have the inclinometer on the clock on when I was doing Soup Bowl.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so I didn't realize, I think until Glenn's office, that I was like, oh yeah, I have an inclinometer in here now. And so we started using it after that. And turns out the inclinometer yells at you if you go over 30 degrees in any direction.
In any direction. Pitch or roll.
Yep.
That's funny.
So it kept yelling at us throughout the day. And I was like, I need to figure out where the setting is. And I can't find it.
Oh.
So I think I've just got to deal with it yelling or turn the sounds off on it altogether.
Oh, that might be it.
Yeah.
Do you need the sounds for anything else on there?
No, it just beeps when you push the button.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
Maybe you turn the sounds off, the beeping for the button pushing goes away, but the alarms still go off.
Oh, that'd be, yeah, maybe. I haven't tried it yet. So, but it was fun. There was a couple times when coming around Arnold's Rock, coming up that little spot there right before the bathrooms. Mm-hmm. That's a little off-camber slab there.
Yeah. And you're at 38?
30, I think it was 37, 38 at the most extreme. I purposefully put myself down in the hole to see how far off camber I could get. And the inclinometer was reading 38 degrees. And, you know, Matt and I are having to hold ourselves up in the rig, but the rig didn't feel like it was going anywhere.
Nice.
So I think I can get the 4Runner to 42 to 43 degrees before it reaches a tipping point.
I think you can get to 45.
You think we can do 45?
Yes. And you should try it.
I need to set up some way to test that in the warehouse.
That would be cool.
Using some rigging in the forklift or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anchor the forklift to the wall or something like that. And then anchor the vehicle to the forklift.
Yeah. I think we could do it some way using the forklift and then pulling another rig in and using a winch. So using a winch off another vehicle and the forklift somehow, I think we could do it.
Well, your vehicle could be the test dummy.
Yeah, we'll figure out how to do it with mine, and then we can repeat it for other vehicles. We can add that to our little stats.
Yeah, that would be actually it would be really interesting to see.
Tip over
rolling point. Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting to just get an idea of what it actually is. You know, because I was aired down to 4 psi.
Yeah,
and
you typically go down to like 6 on the rocks, right?
6, 5, 6, somewhere in there. And I accidentally went a little lower and I didn't want to air up. So I was like, well, let's just see how it does. See if I pop a bead or not. And I didn't because I think those internal bead locks are working great. But I don't know if 4 was a good PSI pressure because I got turtled and I didn't make it up soup ball. So I mean, it's like, well, did that really hinder me or was it better?
Yeah.
I don't know. But it was a nice ride. I was comfy.
Yeah.
It wasn't, you know, we were scooting along when we were driving. So we had some fun.
I was really impressed with the time because especially the second half, I didn't feel like we were really trying to get anywhere quick. And especially during the first half, we weren't either because up until Glenn's office, we were kind of thinking we were going to be turning around and going back out Loon. So we were kind of taking our time and
we totally took our time
goofing around.
Once
and stopping.
We realized that we were probably going to be turning around, we were like, well, we've got time to kill.
Yeah.
Let's do Little Sluice. Let's do Soup Bowl. Let's go on a small hike. You know, let's putt from spot to spot. You know, let's stop and look at, is this $1,000 hill or is that $1,000 hill?
Yeah.
You know, we
stopped at Glenn's office for almost an hour.
Was it?
Just chatting 45 minutes, having a little bit to eat.
I can tell us, I think. I think I ran Onyx. I was trying to run Onyx. Actually, I need to talk to Onyx because there was a point at which, and I forgot where it was, somewhere I paused my trip and then I started it. I started it like a little ways down the trail and I want to see if I can add the trail back in.
I think you can edit. Yeah, that's a nice feature that they added to Onyx recently is being able to edit your tracks.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there was a point, especially when I was at Tahoma and I was wheeling out or we were leaving and it was a few 100 yards down the road and I realized I needed to turn it off. So I want to cut some of that off.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I know you can cut ends. I know you can trim tracks. I think that they've implemented the edit track feature.
So I need to talk to them and figure that out.
Yeah.
But and we stopped at Glenn's office for a while and then we stopped and then we realized we were going to be wheeling through. So we kind of went down Indian Trail, but then once we got to the bottom of Big Sluice,
Old
Sluice, thank you. You let Matt drive. And
we went and hiked up into Old Sluice to let him take a look at it.
Yeah, we went and looked at Old Sluice. And then you let Matt drive, and was he in low, like second gear the whole time? I
think he was in low second gear or medium and first gear, 4.7 first gear most of the time.
Right. Cause we were going not fast.
Yeah.
We weren't, we were putting along. We were moving, but it wasn't like we weren't trying to go fast.
I was able to hike and stay ahead of you guys very easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then we walked around Rubicon Springs for a short period of time.
Yep.
And then we wheeled up all the way, and then you let him drive up Cadillac, and we stopped and looked at the Cadillac.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So we did all that in like 8 hours.
Yeah.
Plus all the stops, and we weren't pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if you take out all the stops and the plane, I would say, and the hike, geez, that's probably like 2 hours.
I would guess 2.5.
2.5.
So 5.5, 6 hours for us to do the trail.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
8 hours. Well, and that's to observation.
Yeah, true.
And then it was roughly an hour or so out from there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think we did we weren't rushed, and
nobody else on the trail.
Mm-hmm. And we got to stop and talk about the points that we love talking about, showing off. So I thought it was a good trip.
Yeah, it was a really fun trip. So looking forward to doing it again. The 4Runner is currently getting the rear shock mounts trimmed under the axle. So hopefully we can suck those up more so they're not as such a hang and catch point. So we'll
saw
see.
one time that Matt was driving, and he literally caught a rock on that shock tower mount, and it just, the whole vehicle rolled the rock up, and the rock and everything rolled while the vehicle continued on.
Yeah.
So I was
They're
like, well,
stout. I mean, Brian made them stout.
Yes.
He made them very, very strong and very well, because it is a catch point down there. Made them rampy. So you kind of either slide over stuff or
you slid over it until the base, and then I think it caught something, and then the whole rock rolled.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that worked.
Yeah. That's kind of what you do. I found with those axles, you kind of hit them on stuff and you're like, okay, that worked.
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, fun trip. The 4Runner's getting the shock mounts done, and I have submitted my order for the adapters for the Ruby Tracks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
To Bora.
Yep. To Bora.
Sweet.
So Bora's getting some business. They're making some adapters. I probably won't get them until like midway January though.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just had a friend reach out to Bora because his offset wheels for his Tacoma are not ideal for what he wants to do. So he needs like 1-inch spacers, and nobody really makes them that thin.
Yeah.
So, but Bora does.
Yep.
Because I think I have 3/4-inch spacers on my Tacoma.
Okay.
And so he's getting 1-inch spacers put in.
Nice.
To make it work for his setup that he's going to be doing.
Sweet.
Yeah. Which will be a Dobinson lift.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Well, cool. I don't really have much else. 4Runner's getting some work. We're starting to get snow in the Sierras. Finally, we keep getting told that we're going to have like an El Nino snow year, which typically means either a lot of rain or a lot of snow if it gets cold enough up high.
Yeah.
And I've heard reports that it's supposed to be one of like the top 5 snowfall seasons in the past 50 years this year.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Right. And I'm kind of like, if it's going to be a big snowfall year, we just haven't had any of it yet.
Right. So weren't we like dumped on last year? Oh, it was New Year's. New Year's we got destroyed.
Yeah.
Like freeways were closed because they were flooded. Yeah, because I remember the assistant needed to go pick up the mini assistant, and it took her like 6 hours to go 50 miles.
Yeah, everything got flooded on New Year's. That was I had family over on New Year's and I lost power.
Right.
And I'm like, I never lose power at my house here.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the same power grid as the levee. So I remember that. Yeah. It was a big storm that night.
Yes, absolutely. I went to the HellaTrails. It's a Northern California off-roading kind of group. I went to their toy drive down at Bay Area Metal Fab this weekend. And it was fun. I was a little late to the show, but I mean I planned it that way. I didn't want to get there immediately. I had the assistant with me. We dropped off a bunch of toys. We got our raffle tickets. I dropped off Snail armor and 2 gift cards to them, so they could have some stuff for the raffle. They laid it out kind of differently this year, which was kind of good. They put the raffle like bags that you would put your raffle ticket in. They were doing, it wasn't like random drawing, random or random item, random ticket. You could go around. They gave the bags to everybody that donated, all the vendors, and had bags at their booths.
Oh.
And so you could go to the booth and then they'd be like, hey, what's your raffle prize? And you could talk about it. I thought that was really kind of cool.
That's a really good way to do it. I've seen it where they have the bags before, right? And it's just all the gifts are out on a table and the bag in front of each gift or raffle item. And you put your ticket in there, but making people go onto the vendors now in order to put your ticket in, that's a smart way to do it.
That was a very smart way to do it. So like Lee was there with Solve Function, you know, and he was donating some things. And so he had his bag out. Will was there with Apollo 9 Motorsports and he offered some like tools. Nice. And so he had a bag out for that. And there was a camper shell company out there. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I don't recall the name. But he's got some cool stuff coming up. He has a sort of, I'm going to just say sort of a wedge style camper thing coming out, but it was covered. It was on a truck and it was completely covered because he's going through the patent process and he doesn't want to show anything off yet. So I was like, oh man, okay, well, I'd like to see it, but obviously I can't.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. Maybe we'll have him on the podcast so he can, once he passes the patent process, he could talk about it.
Nice.
Just to enter another wedge style camper out there in kind of the market. There was a bunch of HellaTrails people out there. There was Kevin, the Das Bluer Taco was around.
Haven't seen Kevin in a while. Yeah,
I parked right next to him, talked to him for a while. Talked to Lauren for a good chunk of time. One of the like Non's good friend, Lauren, I don't recall his Instagram name. He wants me to make a Dodge 2500 tailgate panel really bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I talked to a whole bunch of people. It was fun to walk around, fun to see, familiar faces. And it was a good time. There was a good turnout. Got to talk to Jerry for a little bit from Bay Area Metal Fab. I picked up my rock sliders.
Oh, cool.
So I got my rock sliders for the Tacoma. That worked out rather well. The bummer part was I picked them up and then I went to a birthday party for my friend down in San Leandro, but it was raining that day. And so they raw metal sliders sat out in the rain and they got a little bit of rust on them. So I'm actually there in the back of Clifford right now. I'm going to take them to our stripper and hopefully they can clean them up and powder coat them for me.
Nice.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. So then I can put some actual legitimate hardcore rock sliders on the Tacoma and not have these tin can things that I have to worry about if I ever take Charlotte off-roading. But yeah.
Nice.
But it was a good turnout. I think they had a good turnout. They got more gifts than they've ever got before because they kind of allotted for what they got previously. And then they had to get a whole nother vehicle to put more gifts in they were taking all the gifts to Toys for Tots.
Nice.
Yeah. So they did good. There was a fun turnout. The only thing, I think the only big bummer is the taco truck showed up super late and like almost near the ending.
Oh, wow.
And everybody's like, we had to go get food. Like, what was up with that? So I saw Steve and Tyler from Power Tank and Dimitri was out there.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good turnout. It was a lot of fun. And it's not terribly far from us. It's like a little over an hour away.
Yeah.
So, and then it was on my way down to my buddy's birthday. So it all worked out for us. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then the assistant drove home because I was hanging out with my friends and my buddy Jimbo brought some good whiskey. And so the assistant got to drive the manual home. So
all the way home.
Had to correct her once or twice.
That's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
It worked out pretty. Once she gets going, it's pretty good. It's the stopping and starting up and going again. She's timid to put it in first gear because first gear is really close to reverse in that
She's
truck.
afraid to put it in. Yeah.
And I was like, well, put it in gear and make sure that the reverse camera doesn't pop on and then you'll know you're in the right gear or you're in third.
Yeah. So one of the other.
You'll know pretty easily.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I couldn't go out there because I was taking the secretary out for her birthday.
Yeah.
Out to Mendocino.
Oh.
So we just went to Mendocino and visited Mendocino Fort Bragg, the Point Cabrillo Lighthouse, stuff out there. So gorgeous area. I get why people like Mendocino and Fort Bragg area so much. Not my cup of tea though.
Yeah.
So
I like visiting.
I don't even really like visiting.
Well, I only go like once every 5 years. Or something like that. Maybe I've gone like twice in I think I've gone twice in 5 years. But yeah, it's sparse. I mean,
it's super sparse.
There's small.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on. But if that's what you enjoy, and I mean, there's a little bit of wine tasting out there.
Oh, in Anderson Valley, yeah.
Yeah, there's some fun. Anderson Valley has some fun things going on with the brewery.
Yeah, there's a good drinking in Anderson Valley up 128, Highway 128.
Yeah.
That way.
We call that the marathon. That's when we leave the Anderson Valley, the brew festival.
Yeah.
It's like 26 miles to the freeway from there.
Yeah.
And if you can not throw up in that time,
gotcha. That's
doing that marathon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you enjoy fishing, that's a phenomenal spot.
That was a good fishing area.
Good fishing, good crabbing, abalone, all fantastic out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah. See, I don't like seafood.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like they had a couple. We went to an Italian restaurant that had amazing lasagna, best lasagna I've ever had. So that was really good. Most of the wines out there, it's really rich in Pinot Noirs.
Okay.
Which I don't like.
Oh.
So I don't know. For me, it's a cool area. It's cool to be in the coastal redwoods.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, with a pregnant wife that you can't do a whole lot of hiking with, and when it's raining and drizzling the entire time, it's
and not a whole lot of drinking with, right?
Yeah, I can't do a lot of drinking. I mean, I can do a lot of drinking.
You do. You can do more drinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't have that camaraderie.
Yes.
Of the, like, oh, what do you think of this wine? How do you like that?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go get some beers. Oh, let's,
It's pretty much me drinking by myself and with a designated driver. So,
right. Yeah.
I don't know. It was a great, nice, relaxing weekend. I just don't do well at relaxing.
Yes.
So
understood.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my weekend.
Nice. So, cool. Sounds good. Well, that's, for the most part, that's all I've got as well. So if you want to get in contact with us or give us suggestions about the coastal area of California, something maybe we're missing out on, feel free to reach out. You can email us, Jimmy or Tyler at snailtrail4x4.com. You can find us on Instagram. I'm snailtrail4x4. Tyler's over at 4x4 Toyota Tyler. Or you can call in. We always love getting phone calls from you guys and voicemails. That phone number is area code 916-345-4744.
Sweet. I like it. I like it a lot. Mr. Jimmy, any final words for everybody out there?
Thank you, Ben.
And with that, my friends, keep crawling.
I got one for you.
Okay. Is it Christmas time?
It is Christmas season now.
Okay. Here we go.
Since it's after the secretary's birthday, we can now start dealing with Christmas stuff.
3 weeks of Christmas jokes.
There you go. All right.
All right. Here we go.
I'm going to start off with, what type of trucks do elves drive?
Toyotas.
Toyotas. Yes.
Perfect.
Nice.